was so important to him. As chair of the faculty, it is my honor and privilege to represent the brilliant and most amazing faculty here at UNC. And today, it is my honor to introduce one of those, our colleague, Professor Jamie Bartram, Director of the Water Institute at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and Don and Jennifer Holdsworth, Distinguished Professor of Environmental Sciences and the Engineering at the Gilling School of Public Health. Dr. Bartram came to UNC from the World Health Organization, where he was coordinator of water, sanitation, hygiene, and health program, and where he led reform of international monitoring and standard-setting activities, and where he received international recognition for leadership in evidence-based policy and good practice. In his extensive career, Dr. Bartram has worked on various aspects of the connection between water and health, including technologies for urban sanitation renewal, management systems for drinking water safety and rural drinking water supply, water scarcity, climate change, and more. Dr. Bartram holds degrees in microbiology and environmental and public health from the University of Surrey in his native country of Great Britain. In his more than 20 years of work on issues related to the environment and health and water safety and sanitation, he has worked in over 65 countries and is conversant in several languages. In his short time here at Chapel Hill, Dr. Bartram has been very active, setting up the Water Institute and serving as co-director of the university-wide academic theme, Water in Our World, along with Senior Associate Dean Terry Rhodes. He's still learning Southern, but let's give him a warm Southern welcome.
President Ross, Chancellor Thorpe, distinguished alumni, members of the Platform Party, colleagues, Jackie colleagues, Dean's faculty, staff, and students. Colleagues. I'm here to talk about water, and it may seem that water is not focused for a University Day speech. It's not really the stuff that provokes wild academic excitement. And as long as it flows from the showerhead, pours from the faucet, flushes the toilet, maybe waters the yard, we barely register its presence. Contrast the fact that the inquiring minds of humankind have only ever yet found liquid water on a thin film on the surface of one planet, our planet. And it's on that film that we depend, absolutely. Civilizations have evolved around it and have crashed when they exceeded its bounds. Communities have prospered because of it and founded on its exhaustion. Populations have grown because of the sustenance that it enabled and died because of the diseases with which it's associated. Moving water transcends cultures. It provides the sights and sounds that we all associate with rest and relaxation. And as water may seem an odd theme, I may seem an odd speaker for today. I'm not a Tar Heel born, nor am I a Tar Heel bred, nor am I a UNC alum. But I can claim that moving here 2 years ago closed a loop that was left open more than half a century ago. Herman Beatty was a 1917 graduate of this university, and he went on to receive the first PhD in sanitary engineering ever awarded by a US university. He returned here and became the Dean of Engineering, leaving this university only to become the first head of environmental health at the World Health Organization. That was the role that I inherited 50 years later, and which I then left to come back here. Now, my due diligence in Geneva involved asking anyone I knew with a US accent or a US education what they knew about UNC. Now, I confess, I have since arriving here learned that that's not an optimal research method, and I should have sought IRB approval before regarding. But my respondents were remarkably clear. They were absolutely consistent. They referred to the fact, every single one of them referred to the fact, that at Carolina people support one another and work together. And when they told me that, it wasn't something glib, reassuring and cosy. It was something that defined what this university is about. What I'd like like to do today is make to you the case that that importance of water, combined with the defining characteristic of our university community, offer an exceptional opportunity for world-changing academic endeavour. And I'll call on two advocates to help me in that. Since taking office, my first advocate, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, has marked World Water Day every year. And she summarised in 2010, saying that water represents one of the great diplomatic and development opportunities of our time. It's not every day that you find an issue where effective diplomacy and development will allow you to save millions of lives, feed the hungry, empower women, advance national security, and protect the environment, and demonstrate to billions of people that the United States cares. Water is that issue. She referred to saving millions of lives, and the evidence supports that. Lack of water and sanitation kills more people than HIV, malaria, and accidents all combined. And in North Carolina and across the US, investment in simple water systems brought typhoid, then a major killer, under control in the first half of the 20th century. Today, UNC researchers provide evidence to support the formulation of new international development targets. They lead work, for example, in China, where they remedy toxic algae in a lake that supplies water to 12 million people. And they collaborate with private sector partners, like P&G, on evaluating and propagating simple life-saving interventions. Yet key, complex research questions remain. How do we prevent the waterborne disease and outbreaks that affected more than 500,000 Americans in the 1990s? And how do we deliver sustainable services to billions of people who lack them worldwide? Secretary of State Clinton also referred to feeding the hungry. Just this month we've seen on the news painful images of starving children in Somalia. And we've seen footage of barren fields in the world's breadbasket, the American heartlands. Drought is a matter of life and death for subsistence farmers. And in the US, it means not only that food prices here will jump by perhaps 5%, but it also limits the availability of commodities like corn and soybean internationally. Again, our researchers are engaged, looking at innovative ways to redistribute risk, financial insurance-based mechanisms to reduce the impact of drought, and leading the development of cyber infrastructure to enhance access to data that's vital for effectively managing water resources. But again, the need for evidence to inform us on how to do better challenges research. How to cope with ever scarcer water matters here, it matters nationally, and it matters internationally. And yet, adaptation to a changing climate is insufficient. And our understanding of how to adapt to a changing climate is inadequate. What about empowering women? Today, the average woman in rural Africa will spend a quarter of her time collecting and carrying water. Globally, girls lag boys in achieving educational targets, and the lack of water